We all are familiar with the little story about Zacchaeus. When he wanted to see Jesus, he climbed up in the tree and he could see him. Well, the next part of my testimony I call two trees. When I was 4, my mom put us in the car, my two sisters, a younger sister and older sister, in the car, and we went down our family road, Caldwell Road in Edgewood, and it was a one-way road downhill, down the side hill, one lane. And Mom was a young driver, not very experienced, and when she started going down the road, she noticed a car was coming up the road, and so she moved to the right, but she heard the brush and the blackberries scratching the car, and she thought, oh, I can't do that, it'll ruin the car. So she moved to the left, which happened to be air, and it caused the car to roll over down the embankment. And I don't know how many times we rolled, but it was an event that I don't like to recall. And there were 2 trees growing out from the side hill, and there were like 2 arms hanging out, and one tree, the car upside down, landed across the hood, and the other tree landed across the trunk. And just 20 feet farther, we'd have been flattened on the highway below, because there was nothing else in the way there. And I remember that event, the turning, and I remember the stopping. And there was 2 boys that my mom always told us were angels. They climbed down the hillside, and they dug each one of us out and carried us to the top of the road. Why they carried us 50 feet up a rough hill and left us on the side road versus just 20 feet down to the highway, I don't know. But it was God's plan. Those 2 trees held the car, and it saved us from being smashed on the highway below. And those 2 boys carried us all to the roadside, and they called an ambulance, and it was way, way, way before 911 days. I don't know how the ambulance knew where to come or what kind of description they had, but one boy took off his t-shirt and tore it into shreds and wrapped my hand, because my hand had gone through the window glass and was just shredded, and it had been he had wrapped my hand in such a way that the doctors said it was easy to put my hand back together. And so we got to Good Sam in Puyallup in the ambulance, and my mom said, look, we belong to Group Health in Seattle, take her there. So I got bundled up and took up to Seattle, and the doctor sewed my hand back together. The neighborhood scoured for those 3 boys to find out who they were so they could thank them. They were never found. And that's why my mom believes they were angels in disguise. And they didn't have any trouble carrying all of us uphill. How does that, really weird. But they tried to find them for years, offered rewards. They never appeared, never came about. But we just knew that. And when they took the t-shirt that had been ripped to shreds around my hand and laid it out, it was a perfect t-shirt, but there was no label in it, no label whatsoever, and it was of a fabric that they could not identify. And yet my hand was wrapped in a perfect way, in that perfect material that saved my thumb and my finger.